Yep, the RZ water pump is leaking. As you can see, she's got some dribbles, some love drops here on the floor there. Anyhow, about last week I over tightened one of these bolts and I snapped it off. So I had to remove the whole fucking clutch side casing just to get that thread. Luckily I didn't strip the thread itself. I just took a bloody pair of pliers, or actually a vice grip, and I just turned it out. Okay, clocked it out. Anyhow, it's got a leak. Basically, what happens is it's got an O-ring gasket on there. Okay, you're gonna be on off the whole thing. You actually break in the seal. It's not meant to be taken off the whole time. So I could go buy another bloody gasket, an O-ring gasket for that water pump. But the thing is, how long am I gonna wait? Probably 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks for the damn part. This is the easier solution to this. I'm gonna take this thing off for the last fucking time for the next couple of months. And then I'm gonna use some RT gasket sealant for this. But first, I need to loosen up my drainage plug here. Okay. Let's actually first, what first you do is give this thing something to breathe. I'll remove this. It's like your fuel tank has got a hose, okay? Everything needs to breathe. So once I loosen this, sorry, this is very difficult one hand. Fucking mother. Oh, what a breath this. Oopsie. Take a bike. Put it like that. Hold it upright. Get that last bit of piss out there, huh? Oh, it feels good. You know that feeling after a couple of beers and that big piss. Alright, so try to get it as much as possible out there. Alright, I'm going to show you the next step. I'm going to put the video on pause and show you the next step. Yep, as you can see, I've loosened these bolts here, these 6 more bolts here. Now I'm just using by hand. Something you also want to be careful of. You don't want to mix up these bolts, okay? You don't want to put these bolts in the wrong order because they're not all the same length. I'm going to remove this water pump with the casing with all the bolts still in the correct holes in the position that I know. That way I won't know, that way I'll know exactly where to put them when I go to reassemble the damn thing. Yeah. But I think I'm going to have to make a little template for myself out of cardboard. Drawn up, basically just like an outline of this water pump. So I know exactly where all the bolts go because I'm going to have to sand this flat section of the water pump itself where it seals on an O-ring there. Because on off with the O-ring gasket tends to break its seal. Alright, so that's all loose there. I've owned 3 of them before, so. Okay. Enough of my little rant here. Let's get down to business. I'm going to put the video on pause. Huh? Yep. Removed the bloody housing for the water pump. As you can see, it's got its own gasket on there. It's got like a little O-ring on there. But if you look clearly, you can see that this O-ring is kind of flat. It's lost its buoyancy to float. It's not floating anymore above the casing of the water pump. As you can see, it's pressed flat in there. This is from on off all the time. It'll break the seal. Sorry about the noise. You gotta keep your garage door closed around here, especially when you live in a third-rate country, third world. I don't really want to sand too much on this, otherwise I'm going to go too deep. So I'm going to do is just going to get that surface even this one. Okay, put the video on pause. There we go. Got my 320 grade here, piece of glass. She's looking way better. But I see there is some corrosion over here. Especially over here, you can see around the edges. So obviously the antifreeze has been climbing out of the edge here and pissing out on the engine. To me, the previous owner didn't use the correct antifreeze.